Hi, my friends. How are you today? All right, let's get started with our foundations warm up. Let's pick two to do today. Let's do the last two vowel sounds. Let's do you. You up, you mule, you. You rule, ooh. You pupil, you. You flew, ooh. So if I was in class and I said to you, um, how can you make the long U sound? What would you write? Well, we know vowel, consonant, E, so U dash E does it for these ones. And then we also know that just a U in an open syllable like flew can make the long U sound. Okay? So you have to always be thinking, what are the ways you would write it? Now let's do Y. Y cry I, Y baby E. Yeah, we know that Y can make both those vowel sounds. Okay, and yesterday we started talking about R control. Let's review. AR, car R. OR, horn or. And then how about all three of these? We're going to be talking about these today. We have UR, burner, ER, her, and IR, birder. I'm going to put them aside and we're going to come back to those very soon. Because the last thing I want to talk about is those vowel teams. I love teamwork. Do you? Do you guys play any sports? Are you on any teams? All right, so these vowel teams, we know that the letters together make certain sounds. So let's do this row that are long E sounds. E, jeep E. EY, key E. IE, piece E. EI, ceiling E. EE, eat E. And EA, bread E. Bread. Kind of sounds more like a short E to me. Ed, right? Yeah. EA, bread, So sometimes EA says the long E, and sometimes it sounds a little more short, like in bread. Okay, now that our warm up is done, let's get back into these R controls. So grab your whiteboard for me and write me all three ways to do the sound Write all three on your whiteboard. You should have these three. They all say So remember, if there's a word that's given to you and you don't know which one it is, you should do all the parts you know. Like say the word is first. I would write my F. I might leave the vowel blank, and then I know the ending first. Okay? I might do that and then think, what are the options? Well, it could be IR first, it could be ER first, or it could be UR first. When you don't know and you write them all out, sometimes one just looks right and you know it because you've read it so many times or seen it so many times. But sometimes you just don't know. So you have to check in your notebook. So I want everyone to go into that notebook and keep scrolling until at the top you see spelling options. And then we want to find the F for first and scan and scan and see if it's in there. Awesome. It is FIRST. If it's not in here, you could always look it up on your computer in a dictionary.com or on your phone. A lot of them will be in your notebook to help you. So then we can go ahead and fill it in that we know it's IR. Okay, let's try another one with some spelling options with 2 syllables. So why don't we use the syllable top boxes at the top of your whiteboard? Repeat after me. Termite. Do you know what a termite is? It's a bug that will eat wood. Termite. So let's break it into syllables. Ter, might. So in that first syllable, what do you hear? We hear t, I don't know which one it is yet. And in the second syllable, what do you hear? Termite. And it's an E that makes the I say I. Termite. Okay. So you can kind of go below and think, what are your choices for Well, it could be ER, termite. It could be IR, termite. It could be UR, termite. So you want to write them all out and then you want to look. Does one of them, do you recognize which one's the right one? Okay, you think you do. So circle the one that you think's right and then check in your student notebook and see if you're right. Pause here so you can take the time to practice finding it yourself and checking it. Okay, which one was right? Yeah, it is ER. That's the first one. Good. Okay, let's practice a little bit more with these. All right. Here's one with a spelling option. Repeat after me. Here's a two-syllable with in it. Repeat after me. Perfume. Let's do the syllables. Perfume. All right, I want you to write it out. Write out all the options, look it up in your spelling dictionary, and then check it with me. Pause. You might know it. You might be 100% confident. Check it in that dictionary just to get used to checking in case sometimes you might not know it. A different word. Okay, if you're back, you must be ready to check. Here's our two syllables, perfume. And the in this one is E. Can you go ahead and mark the syllables now? We have R controlled and we have vowel, consonant, E. Perfume. Okay, let's go down to the next one. Turnip. Would you like to eat a turnip? Let's do the syllables. Turn it. Okay. Pause here until you're ready to check with me. You're back. What did you find for the sound? Which one is it? ER, IR, or UR? Ding, ding, ding. That's right. Turnip. And we split the syllables right after the R. Go ahead and mark those syllables. We have R control and we have closed. Okay, nice job. Let's go ahead and erase. Okay, the next thing we need to talk about is a rule in our crazy English language. Did you know that words in English do not end with V? Everyone make a V for me. You could do it like this, right? They never end in V. So watch me build the word nerve, like don't get on my nerves. When we hear it, we hear n, then we hear and that I happen to know is ER, and then we hear v. So these are the only sounds that we hear, but since it never ends with V, we still have to have an E at the end. Even though it's an R controlled, we still add that E. So we still would mark it as an R controlled. So one syllable, we would still circle the and label it as R. It doesn't matter that this E is here. So we cross off the E to show that it's silent. And we actually kind of put this little line over it to show that it's ending in the V. Okay, let's try some more words like this. Get your notebook out, and I want you to try the word curve. There's going to be a curve in the road. And before we do anything else, I decided the line over is just confusing because that makes it look like a macron and it's a long E sound, but it's not. We don't hear the E. So let's forget that. Let's just cross off the E and circle that. Okay, so for curve, remember, we hear you're going to need to look up which that is if you don't know. So pause here and work on curve. Okay, when you're ready to check, It is you are, and we have to put the E at the end. Now go ahead and mark it. Scoop it, circle the R control, label it as R control, and cross off the E for curve. Let's do another. Swerve. You're driving along and then you see some trash in the road, so you have to swerve. Tap it out and write it and check in the spelling procedures, the spelling options. Which is that? I expect to see you looking it up. There's a lot of S's in here. Swerve, swerve. And you know what? I don't think I see this one in here. So whenever we don't see a word in here that we think we need, we add it once we know for sure. So I can tell you that swerve is an ER. It looks like this, swerve. So now could be a good time that if you didn't know that, to write it right in under the S's so that if you ever need to look it up again, you'll have it. Go ahead and mark swerve for me. Scoop it, circle, cross off the E, and label it. R control. All right, go ahead and erase your boards. And we are going to end today with a new sound-alike word. Okay, here's our two words. Can you read them to me? Heard, heard. Let's talk about this one first. Spell it. H-E-R-D. That's right. This word is herd. And this kind of herd means many of the same animals living together. Like a herd of geese, a whole bunch of geese. And that's usually called a gaggle of geese, I believe, or a google. I'm not positive. I am not an animal expert. A herd of elephants. That's a better example. When there's a whole bunch of elephants living together, it's a herd. Our other type of herd is this one. And this means that a sound may have been detected or heard. Look at the word that's inside of this herd. What is it? Ear. So you can remember this ear, this herd has ear in it because it's talking about a sound, something that you heard. Let's enter these into our notebooks. So in your notebook, the very back part before the trick words is, actually not before, after the trick words, in the very end are all of the sound-alikes. So you will find the H's and you'll find both herds. Once you get to this page, I want you to pause the screen to enter this kind of herd. Pause right here. And when you're done, we're going to switch into the other. Here is your other herd. H-E-A-R-D. Sounds that have been detected. Enter this into the notebook under H-E-A-R-D. Pause until you're done. Okay, and the last thing we'll do is a little practice with all of these sound-alikes. So grab your dry erase board and I will say a sentence and you need to write which one it is. So here's my sentence. I have not been to school all week. Which one is that? Write it on your whiteboard. W-E-E-K is a week or 7 days. Okay, let's do another one. Where are you going? Which where was that? Write it on your whiteboard. Spell it with me. W-H-E-R-E. And remember the hint, it's got the word here inside of it. So you know it's the question. Where are you? Here I am. Okay, let's do one more today. It was so nice to meet you. Which meet? Write it on your whiteboard. There it is, M-E-E-T, meat. And you can remember the other meat has eat in it because I like to eat meat, but some people don't. Okay, erase your whiteboard and you're done for today. Great job, everybody.